Hello. We need today a block or a cushion, or you can sit on the floor if you're happy to, or you can sit on a chair. I am going to sit up on a block. I'm going to have it quite far back, so I've got my ankles supported on the soft mat. And we're going to do a little bit of a kind of a Garuda workout. Just getting the ribs, everything connecting and moving, and just get a little suppleness through your upper body, through your rib cage, through your spine. So grounding down through your hips, just letting everything kind of settle there. And we're going to sit and we're going to breathe. So relax the shoulders down the back. Now have a moment to inhale and really lengthen right up through that hook. And then as you exhale, soften the front ribs and relax. Breathing in. Growing. So I want you to inhale and grow. Out through the top of the head. Exhale. And then we're going to just go up, not all the way up. So lengthen the spine as much as you can. We're going to focus on the hips now. You're just going to tuck, rock under, and then come forward. So you're sitting on your sit bones and you're rolling on the back of the sit bones and rolling forward. If this feels too uncomfortable with your legs in this position, you can have your legs out in front of you like this, but we'll try and go for it here. So we're rolling off and then coming forward. Letting the hips, the pelvis move forward and back. So the pelvis is like a sort of bucket tucking under and coming forward. Then we're going to circle around. So you're trying to think of this pelvis moving, and whatever else moves on top, just let it go with it. There's no right or wrong here. Then we're going to go the other way. So I'm thinking of it happening really low down. And don't think about the ribs here. We're getting to the ribs in a moment, but just think of the pelvis. Settle back to your center and then just put a little bit more weight onto one sit bone and then just kind of push into that knee. So you're just putting all of the weight onto that sit bone. Find your center and then put all of the weight onto the other sit bone and come back. And again, onto that sit bone and center and onto that sit bone and center. Find those two sit bones. I'm on a bit of a cushion, so if you're on something hard, you're going to really feel those sit bones rooting down. Try and relax the legs. If it's too grippy for you, please change the position of your legs. I'm quite happy in this position, so go with something if it works better for you, something else. We're going to focus a little bit now on the rib cage. You're going to come right down, put your hands on the bottom fluting ribs here. And we're going to just move the ribs out and then center. So it's as if somebody is pulling your ribs out, coming back to your center, and ribs, and center, and ribs. Then we're going to go around. So we're going to go to the side, forward, side, and back. So you're kind of leaning back into those ribs. Right, forward, side, and back. I'm saying right, but it doesn't matter if you've gone the other way. Then we're going to reverse it, go the other way. Side, forward, side, back. Pull yourself forward, lift your breastbone. Side, getting into those ribs. One more. And find that center. Then we're going to go back, pulling the ribs back. Allow the head just to bow a little bit, humble. Don't drop it right down, just a little bit. And then pull on the knees. Lift, come to the front of those sit bones and lift your breastbone up and allow the head to the eye line to go up. Then we're going to exhale, pull back, pull on the knees, pull yourself forward and lift. Come back to your center. Let's go into the shoulders now. You're going to bring your fingertips onto your shoulders and big circles. Nice wide collarbones. Opening out into this movement. One more. Then we go the other way. So we're going to reverse. Big breath in. rolling motion like backstroke. And this is rolling through the rib cage into the back a little bit. Then reverse, coming forward. It's like a really bad front crawl with little clipped wings. As we're doing it with our elbows. Lovely, good. Relax down. We're going to slide the fingers. Make sure the hands aren't too far behind you. Slightly forward. You're going to slide your fingers over. Take the arm over and breathe. Relax the underneath shoulder. Check your head's not too far forward. Your head's back. And your ear is listening to the ceiling. And you're going to breathe into this open side. 2 big breaths. And relax the shoulders. Breathe into the sides. And bring it back over to the other side. Get your position right. If you feel it's too shouldery, try and think of the shoulders melting down your back. Have space between your ear and your shoulder. And breathe into this open side. 2 breaths. Next one. We come back to the center. This time we're going to take it over. I'm going to show you, so maybe watch this briefly and then join in, because you're going to be moving over into your side bend. Then you're going to be pulling. So if we go to the right, you're pulling your right shoulder back and you are pulling yourself back as if somebody's got hold of the back of your top and they're pulling you backwards as you look down. Okay, so we're trying to get more into the upper back. Just going to move the flowers out of the way so you can see more. And we take it over. Then we're going to drop this right shoulder back, curl, look forward. Try not to just lift that left hip off. Pull back and breathe into your back. Relax the shoulders. Then come back to your side and back to your center. Other side. Over you go. Pull that left shoulder back. Pull the right shoulder forward. Look down to your hip and breathe into your back, back of your ribs, pushing that hand on the floor, pushing yourself backwards. Come back to your side and then lift and come back to the center. Now take your hands back behind you and lift your chest. Bring your hands in front of you and go forward. Now we've done all of this with probably one leg in front, so I'm going to get you to switch whichever leg and put the other one, and that might feel a little different, but we go with it. And we're going to take the arms back, lift the chest and bring the arms forward and take it back. So just be mindful of knees here. Again, if this is not right for you, you can still do this movement with the feet out. You found a nice little space for yourself to do this moving. I always want to put my right in front, I put my left. Okay, moving upwards to the head, sitting up really tall, we're going to take the hand and bring the hand over near your ear, and you're just going to let the weight of the hand tip your head over. This opposite shoulder, so if you think of the 2 hands pulling apart here, this shoulder drops and the hand rests down. Come back to the center, take it over again. Then you're going to turn and almost look down to your armpit, pull on the head a little bit. Come back to your side position, then cradle the head and look up. Come back to the side, reach the hand out, and we're going to do little circles backwards. 5 and 4, all the time pulling that arm out. 2 and 1, dig the hand down and resist, grow tall as you reach. Change sides, hand over and drop the shoulders down. So we're going to just pull a little, you're not yanking the head, you're just letting the weight of the hands stretch out these scaling muscles and just relax here. Then you're going to turn your head and look down to your armpit. Drop your chin right in and feel like you're lengthening your neck away. Come back to the side, side, lean, cradle the head, look up towards that corner, come back to your side, reach the arm up a little bit off the floor, and then you're going to circle it. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Dig down and come back to your center to do a funny little thing with the head. So we're warming up that sort of axis atlas joint there at the top, and we're going to do little sort of stirs. Don't kind of go mad with this. If this does not feel very mobile, it's very small movement. It's as if your chin is coming around in a little circle on top of your spine. Then you go the other way, and the shoulders are going to join in a little bit. Don't worry about it, just enjoy that kind of movement, and then just give the head a little shake, a little wiggle around. Then we're going to do a twist. So we're going to take the head round behind us, and then change, twisting that. Growing tall. As you do this, feel like somebody's got hold of your ears. They're pulling both ears to the ceiling. Evenly. Up on both sides. Lift. And twist. And twist. And twist. And come back to your center. Good. So, we feel a little bit warmer. Let's go in for a little bit more undulation of the spine. So we're going to lift up the breastbone as if somebody's got hold of you here. And you're going to roll forward. You can use your hands to catch yourself. Curl back in. Your chin comes in, looking down. And you're rolling off the back of your sit bones and come up. Again, rolling forward. Chin, curling in, pushing the floor away, rolling back. Let's do one more of those. Use your hands. Again, if you want to, you can do this with the legs out in front of you. Same thing. And then we're going to reverse it. So we've done that lifting of the chest and forward. So now we're going to go the other way. We're going to nod the chin down. So start with your head quite far back. Feel that you're pushing into the, as if you're pushing into the back of a sort of car seat here. Drop the chin. Curl back. Reach forward. Now you can pull yourself up to sitting. And then dropping the chin, scooping, rounding off those sit bones, curled back. Forward, reach out, lift up. If you're doing this cross-legged, exactly the same. Chin in, down, push forward, and lift. Chin down, forward, curl. Use your hands if you want to. Last one. Reach out, lengthen out, and come back. Okay, we're going to focus a little bit on your pelvic floor and that feeling of kind of rooting, grounding right down. So we want to imagine there's like a V going down to your pubic bone, and that V goes all the way up to the middle finger. So we've got a great long line, almost as if we are hanging from the ceiling in a V. So we're reaching through the middle fingers. Again, you find a position that works for you, sitting. You can do all of this in a chair. Reach. Now, tighten. Feel like you're tightening up through your pelvic floor. So you're lifting up your insides up towards the heart, and then relax. I want you to exhale. And then breathe in, release, relax. Feel those sit bones widen as you release. And exhale, lift. So we want to feel that the back is flat, the tailbone's dropping down, which is an easier position here than standing. We're not leaning back. We are over those sit bones. Our ribs are soft at the front, and we are reaching the fingertips out. Then we're going to melt the elbows down. All the way down. Bring the arms forward. And circle. Bring the arms forward and circle. And breathe out. One more. Little pause here before we breathe out. Then we reverse, breathing in. Bring your hands together. Now bring your elbows forward and pull down through your center. Reach out. Breathe in. And pull the elbows down. One more. So it feels so nice. And pull the elbows down. So we're going to take one hand, palm up, the other palm is down, and we're going to kind of look as if we're holding something, nice cake, on a plate here. And then we're going to change and go the other way. Doesn't really matter too much what is happening with the hands, but imagine, I like to imagine I've got a plate of cakes and I'm keeping the plates level. And lift, and lift. Whoops, that went a bit strange with that hand. Okay, bring the arms up. Watch the front ribs here, just soft through your front ribs. I don't know if you can see, but soft here. And we're going to bring the elbows forward and we're going to just lift the heart a little bit. Feel that you're really grounded through your center, your sit bones. You're not going off the back of your sit bones now, you're really on it. Push the knees down. If you've got your feet out in front of you, push your feet down. Grow tall. And then we're going to, I'm going to turn sideways and I'm going to come off my block, just easier to show you this, when you're sideways on. You're going to have your feet hip width apart, toes long, feet down, hold your hands on your shins, and you're going to grow really, really, really tall as you breathe in. So you feel as you're breathing in that you're rippling all the way up through the spine. Inhaling, and then exhaling. Curving down. Inhale. Pull on your shins as you lift. Encourage the shoulders to pull back. Lift. A little bit of tension in those arms. And then exhale. This time we're going to lift right up tall. And we're going to bring the chest forward to those thighs. And then we're going to let the shoulders go. Relax a little bit. Go down, forward. Bring the hands to your feet. And just allow your head to soften and look down. I'm going to make my position a little longer here so it's just more comfortable. So you're going to breathe here, breathe into your back. Get that feeling of opening up through your back. Relax the shoulders. Feel really, with each breath you're trying to get your armpits a little higher onto your knees. One more. Alright, come back up to sitting. We're going to hold the back of the legs, lift your toes up towards the ceiling, curl your toes over, dig down, reach out, flex up, curl, dig, reach, lift up. So we're curling them in, reach, lift up, curl, reach, lift up, curl, reach, lift up. You can do a little sway with the body if you want, or you can focus on what your feet are doing. Leave them up. We're going to windscreen wiper the feet from side to side. Importantly here, we try not to move the knees. We could do this with the knees, but we're going to try and keep the knees going up to the ceiling, and we're going to windscreen wiper the feet. Side to side. Heels rooted down, toes in the air, side to side. Now you're going to put your feet down, and you're going to try and slide. Now that might be more tricky. Grass on my mat. It might be more tricky if you're particularly tight in the ankle. You might bring your feet in a little bit, just modify. Then we're going to, I've got grass, with my mat. We're going to slide one heel along the mat, sit up really tall, reach that leg away, come back here. You can just soften into your lower back a little bit, push that heel away, lift, 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 grow tall. And then we're going to push away again, lift up tall, and come back, and push up tall, and come back. Then we're going to open the knee out to the side, and slide the leg away, roll it parallel, come back up, open the knee, slide the leg, parallel, come back up. So we're starting with the knee opening, allow it to lengthen, roll, bring it back. You can put your hands here. Open, slide, roll parallel, and come back. Then we're going to take both knees over to one way, draw it back to the center, and both knees to the side and center. And you'll probably find as you do this that you're going to walk down the mat bent in front of you, one knee bent behind you. If this is a really uncomfortable position for you, you can, knee issues, you can have your position like this, or if both knees are an issue, then legs straight out. Find what's comfortable with you. You could also go on to a bit of a block if you want to lift yourself up a little higher. So I'm going to stick with this one, and we're going to focus. If I've got the right knee forward, hopefully you've got your right knee forward, you're going to put your hands under your left buttock cheek there, and just see if you can get that buttock cheek to drop down, and you're going to lift this knee and just a little lean back. You might want to put your hand there, and you're getting quite a strong internal rotation with this other leg, this left leg, and then push and come to sitting. So we're going to roll, tucking under a little bit, putting the hip down and lifting, and keep it moving. And this sit bone here might drop down as this knee comes in, or it might still be hovered off. Don't worry, just see if we can get a little bit of this internal rotation is healthy for your hips and is good. Sometimes we get a bit restricted there. Then we're going to reach our hands either side of the knee, and I want you to lift, lengthen, and go forward as if you're looking over the top of a cliff, and then you're pulling your chin in, rounding, coming up to sitting. So we're going to go forward and over and come back. One more, forward and over and come back. A little bit more of a stretch would be to come forward in this position. So I'm getting quite a strong stretch in my right glute here. If this is too much for your knee or your glute, we'll keep it just forward where you were. Okay, so coming around a little bit is just making it a little stronger. Then we're going to take it into a side bend. We did these at the beginning. And side bend. And side bend. Good. Keep going. Kind of let it flow. Let this sit bone drop down. And over. And come back. Find your center here. Now put your hands under, and possibly, hopefully, that sit bone has just allowed, just a little bit heavier, it's allowed to be dropped into the mat a little bit more. Change sides. Remember, you can do this with your legs out, but we're trying to get a little bit of internal rotation. So finding that hip bone, that sit bone there, underneath your hand, and there's a little bit of a gap on this side. I can pick up this knee and just roll back. It's quite a strong pull, internal rotation on the knee. So if that's not for you, you might just want to sit here and breathe, but I'm just rocking back. I'm using my hands to give a little bit of help because this knee is much tighter. This internal rotation is harder on this side for me. Come back, good. You're going to put your hands either side of that front knee and look over the top of the cliff and come back in. Lift and over. Reach, 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 reach. Pull back. As you pull back, try and get that sit bone down, lift, reach, curl in. Come back. You're going to bring your hands forward in front of you if you're doing that version. You can just walk them in and out. You don't have to do that undulating movement. Or as I said, if that's too much, you go here. Alright, coming up to sitting, taking it into a side bend and just letting this flow really. Just letting the arms and the ribs and the waist. Don't forget the head on the top, letting it follow through. Good. And come back to your center. Now just put your hands, yeah, mine's dropped just a little bit. Down. All right. Bring your legs out in front of you. Okay. Going into a little bit more abdominals now. I'll face this way, but I might turn sideways so you can see. We're going to hold the back of the legs and we're going to roll off the sit bones and we're going to roll back, back, back. Holding this position here, finding those deep abdominals into a little dropped curved position. Shoulders are down, collarbones are open. And if that feels okay, you can add taking the arms forward. If you need the arms, use the arms. Exhale. Sinking, sinking, sinking. And come forward. I've got a nice soft cushion behind my back when I'm going here. That's very nice. So you can do the same if you feel that you have any tightness and you want a little bit of a reminder, you've got to lower that sacrum down, you can do that and come forward. Okay, let's put it out the way. Rolling back. Trying to get that sacrum tipping underneath you, so rolling off those sit bones, trying to get this. If you're particularly tight here, it's quite nice to put a cushion there so you can feel that you're imprinting your back into that cushion. You're exhaling as you go back, inhaling when you start to come up. Use that pause in the breath. So you breathe here, you exhale, you roll back. We're going to move. Use that pause. Breathe in. Exhale. Okay. I want you to imagine that you've got hold of handlebars like you're on a bicycle. Set the shoulders down the back, open across the collarbones, and we're going to roll off those sit bones just a little. And we're going to just bicycle one leg. Try and keep everything else still, and that sort of openness through your collarbones, through your neck. Change legs. If this is not for you, you're going to do this a little higher position, not quite so low, and definitely not the next version. So we're rolling off those sit bones, holding here, and we're going to just do little cycles, trying to keep still as we do this, breathing. Sink lower if you can. Heels. Sink, 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 sink. How are we doing? Are we feeling it? Whoa. And then can we cycle back up again? And release down. Good. Well done. Let's go down to lie on your back. You can have a pillow behind your head. You'll lie all the way down. Head on a cushion if you need it. Please make sure your chin isn't up towards the ceiling. Relax the arms down by your side. So you're going to feel length through the arms. We'll start just with the shoulders, sliding the shoulders up to the ears and then sliding the shoulders down. Widen across the collarbones. Feel that you're trying to make your back really wide. Now imprint all of your back into the mat. Lift one leg to tabletop, imprint, keep imprinted, and lift the second leg. So I want you to feel that you're pulling your front body towards the back. You're really sticking, gluing your back into the mat. And we're going to do some toe taps. Lowering one leg down, coming back up, lowering the other leg down. Then if you feel you want to add in the head, you're lifting, you're reaching. Reach the fingers out. Longer lever with the leg if you want to make it harder. Ideally exhaling, sinking the belly down as the leg goes. Make it harder by going lower or easier by not taking the leg, so making it a smaller movement, even if you're just here. If the neck doesn't like it here, you have your head down. So little scissor movements. Okay, I'm going to make it harder still, taking it up, reaching. And then hug your knees into your chest. Pull your knees in and pull your knees to your right shoulder. And release, pull your knees to your left shoulder. And release, pull your knees to your right shoulder. And release, and to your left shoulder. Release. Bring your knees apart, hold. and pull your feet apart, flex your feet. You're going to do big circles with your ankles, just rotating those ankles round and reversing it the other way, circling those ankles. And then draw your legs in. Popping your feet down. You might want to use the pillow here. We're going to do a bridge. And we're going to make the bridge a little juicier. We're going to roll into the back, flattening the back, heeling up through the spine, opening out through the front of the hips. I'm just going to tuck this in. I think it might be easier for you to see what's going on through the legs. Reach through the fingertips. And breath in here and breathe out as you roll down. We have 12 sets of ribs, 24 ribs, 12 on each side. See if you can articulate through them. It's quite difficult to feel them individually, but it's that visual image that we are rolling down through the cage to your tailbone. And again. Let's add the arms. Take the arms up. Take the arms over. Take the arms wide. And then draw your armpits down. Excuse me. Roll. And bring the arms and the legs together. Oh, got a tickle. We're going to have the legs together, feet together, knees together, but your toes are going to be ever so slightly apart. So your toes are apart and your knees are together. If that feels too much, make sure you're not going too wide with your toes, just a tiny little pizza shape. One slice pizza. We're going to roll up into our bridge. Try and keep your knees together. Imagine you've got your 50-pound notes, and what are 50-pound notes between your knees? Squeeze. Breathe and roll down through your spine. Are you feeling those knees? I think mine released a little bit there. We're going to squeeze, imprint, roll up, squeeze, 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 up. Hold it up here, tighten, just check in with this area here. This should be tight, the hips should be open. Go a little bit higher with the hips. And then just do a little wiggle here. So we're just lifting one hip a little higher and allowing the other hip just to drop a little bit. So you're just doing a little swivel through your pelvis. There's a reciprocal movement through the rest of the spine and the body and the knees. It's quite hard to keep the knees together. Don't strain anything. Just find what works for you and roll slowly down through the spine. We're going to pull one knee in. Keep your tailbone down. Try not to lift it up. Keep your tailbone down, and you're going to extend the leg and release. We want to try and go for full range of movement here. So if your full range of movement is here, then that's where you go, even if it's here. Just so you can fully extend into that leg. Stretch it. Then we're going to walk the hands up a little bit further, and just a little gentle pull, but that pull is with the tailbone down. So we're just getting a little gentle pull. Hold it there, full stretch if you can. Pointed foot's going to be easier. Flex foot is going to be more of a pull. Slide the underneath leg out, 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 all the way out to the other side of the room. Then we're going to open this leg out to the side, try and keep the opposite hip down. Then we're going to come back to your center. And we're going to take it over across the body. So we're getting outside of the hip here. Anchor the shoulders down. Look straight up to the ceiling and smile while you enjoy that stretch. You could increase it a little bit by sickling the foot. Come back to your center and release down. Other leg. Hug the knee in. We're going to extend fully. A little tighter on this side, so I'm going to have to take it a little further away from me. Try and get that full range. And reach. And reach. Hold it there. Flex point maybe. Slide the other leg out. I'm going to take it a little higher and pull. A little bounce. bounce. Bouncing is okay, as long as it's not too violent, and long as we're not ripping muscles. We want to be very gentle with that and slow and soft. Then we're going to take it out to the side, anchoring this hip. Try not to let this hip come up. Try and keep it down. Take the arm out to the side, open, open, open into that stretch. Come back, change, and let the weight of the leg pull across and just open into that outside of the hip. Relax. Breathe. Smile and bring it back to the center and release down. So we've done a little bit of legs. Let's take the knees out into a frog position here. Put the soles of the feet together and have a little kind of wiggle on your bottom. Rock from side to side. Take your arms out, palms up towards the ceiling. And just breathe. Breathe into the front of the body. Try and relax here. Breathe. And then exhale. See if you can relax your legs. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to take about 3 breaths. Now I want you to just squeeze your heels together. Feel as you squeeze your heels together, that works a little bit into your bottom, your backs of your legs, your hamstring, and then release. Squeeze again. Squeeze, tighten everything up. If that feels any discomfort in your lower back, guys, bring your knees up. I can give you another version. You can do the same thing, squeeze the knees together, but in this position. Okay, but we're squeezing the heels together. And release, and squeeze the heels together, and release. Hug your knees into your chest and have a little roll around on your back. And we're going to roll onto our side. So, just a couple of exercises more and then we're done. Reaching out, lifting through the waist, lifting and lengthening. Just let it float up as high as you can. And fully relax down. So the feeling is of the legs pulling out, the hand pulling out, and we're lifting, lengthening, to the ceiling, and release. One more, reaching out and lifting, and back down. Bend the knees in, push yourself up. You're going to come round to the other side, onto your side, stretching out through the legs. Lifting the waist, lifting the tummy, hand in front here, and we're going to lift. If you don't want to lift the head, that's fine. Keep the head down. Check in with all those stacked ankles, stacked knees, stacked waist, shoulders, eyes, ears. Be hard not to stack those, but anyway, we're going to think about lengthening out. Last one. Reach and come back. Bend your knees and you're going to come up to sitting. Swing your legs in front of you, or put your legs in front of you. Give them a little shimmy, and then we're going to do a little bit of a kind of a front crawl. I quite like this exercise because it just gives you a little bit of a stretch into your thoracolumbar fascia, your tissues that can get quite tight here in the back. Let's take the legs a little bit wider. Feel that you are right. You pull your fleshy bits behind you. We want to be right on those sit bones. Grow very, very tall. And we're going to start with the right arm. We're going to take the right arm back behind you. Grow tall. Now lift that arm as high as you possibly can. Sit on your left sit bone. We've got the right arm up and we're going to go over and we're going to reach and we're going to grab the outside of your left leg. And then come back up. Put your hands, both hands are on this left thigh here. Keep reaching the heels away. We take this arm back and we lift right up on those sit bones. And we're going to come over and sit on the right You're not lifting the left, but you're sitting, you can feel that that right sit bone. And then we bring the hands back. Again, lift over to the opposite leg, and up, and pull back. So it's like a front crawl, and reach, and lift, and reach. Hold the feet if you can, or the ankles, wherever you can get to, and we're going to try and lift up through the spine. So that feeling of really rooting your sit bones down and trying to grow tall from that position. You might find it easier to get that length through the spine if you bend your knees. If you're particularly tight hamstrings or lower back, this is a better position. It'll be easier for you to get that feeling of lengthening up through the spine. Slide the shoulders down the back and release. Onto all fours. You're going to tuck your toes under, and we're going to go out of frame here, but don't worry, just go with it. We're literally going to go up to standing and then come back down. We're going to do a roll up. Tucking the toes under, feet are hip width apart. You're up into your down dog position, spreading through the feet. Just have a little walk through your feet here. Then we're going to walk the hands slowly in. Hang, just hang. Feel that your chest, your ribs are reaching down, and you can bend your knees, juicy bend of the knees here. Let the weight of the body rest on the thighs if you can. If you're up here somewhere, don't worry about it. Maybe bend the knees a little wider, bend a little more and take it wider. And then we're slowly going to roll up, breathing. Rolling all the way up through the spine, and we are going to stand. You're going to stand, and you're going to find a position. Let the shoulders drop down the back, open across the heart, the collarbones. Give the head a little wobble, give the shoulders a little shimmy, and we have finished. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that. Feedback is always good. Well, welcome. Thanks.